Hello, I get a lot of traffic to my site looking for information about the Ashbory bass, and I do have a web page dedicated to the instrument, but I thought it would be nice if I did some video footage of what the Ashbory bass is like. Now, I bought my Ashbory bass back in 2001, and here it is. It comes in its own little carry case, which you can sling over your shoulder. It's very compact. Now I'll open it and we can have a look at what it looks like. As you can see, my instrument is in a very fetching black, and you can see it's a fairly small looking instrument. It's got 3 controls there. One of them controls volume, the other 2 I think are to do with the tone controls. It's got active electronics, and that lights up to tell you that the battery is still working. But the unique thing about this instrument are the strings. They're made of silicon rubber, and I'm not sure if you can see that, but they give the instrument a very loud, almost acoustic bass sound. And it's also fretless. There's not a fret on there. There are fret markings for you and dot markings so you don't get lost, but it's a fretless instrument too, so you can do lots of slides and things like that with it. The way you string an Ashbory bass is you cut the string to length, you tie a knot in one end of the string, you draw it up, a bit like stringing a bow and arrow, I should imagine, tie a knot in the other end, and then you wind for dear life, hoping that it works. The G string is very often the first string to go. I've got through 2 strings already, but you can buy the silicon rubber strings off the internet. There's a website link on my webpage where you can buy lengths of that string, because it can be quite expensive buying whole sets of Ashbory bass strings. Now, what I'm going to do for you next is I'm going to put the Ashbory bass on, and I'm going to perform using the Ashbory with a track that I've recently recorded, so you get an idea of the sound that it makes. hopefully that gives you an idea of what the Ashbory bass is like in a performance context used with other instruments. I think you'll agree it has a pretty unique sound. I think it sits somewhere in between an electric bass and an upright bass, and being fretless you can do things like that. You can get some very strange sounds out of it. It also has a very deep bottom end. Sometimes I find it difficult to fit the Ashbory into my overall sound, so it's one of those instruments that gets put away and brought out on special occasions. My only criticism of it is that it does take a lot of tuning. Because of the way the silicon strings are, they're basically rubber. The tension over time does seem to slip, and I'm forever tuning up. Also, with the G string being the first one often to break, there's always that fear that when you turn the winding peg it's going to bang off, and when it does break, boy do you know about it. It can be quite sore across the knuckles. But the Ashbory bass is a lovely little instrument, and if you ever see one around for a good price, I think they're about £279 over here, or $279 US. Pick them up, because I think you'd agree it's a nice instrument. It certainly is a talking point. People point and laugh and say, look at that funny little instrument you've got there. But yeah, the Ashbory bass, try one. I think you'll love it.